Hi everybody, welcome back to our Flippy Flappy journal. We've been making good progress, I think. We've got these that are decorated with a notebook behind them, plenty of journaling. And then on the very back itself, we've got two pockets with journaling cards in, journaling on the back, and a little tag hanging off them, which is very nice. I like it. And they just slide into there, and the little tag comes out over the top, just to let you know there's something in there, so you should be having a look and see what it is. The bottom is the same as the top. It's got a notebook in it and just that bit of decoration. Then in here we've got two envelopes, and they open up to reveal some journaling. Extra journaling, always welcome. And they just tuck into that stay down there. And then on the back of that we've got these, which I absolutely love. They are two acetate windows. We stamped behind them, we stuck the butterfly on, stitched around the frame, and then decided that they ought to be pockets. So we made a journaling card with a little tab on and attached a butterfly. And they just fit into there nicely and leave the butterfly dangling. So we're making good progress. Now today we're going to concentrate on this bit, but to begin with I don't actually need this. So I'm just going to fold that up and put it out of the way a little bit anyway. Right, so what I need is some 12 by 12s from the paper pad. So I've got all my remnants here, which I don't actually need at the moment, so let's put them there, and let's find some paper to use for this right hand section. Bit pale, blooming flamingos, not in my watch. That might be a bit too patterned. Bit pale, we've already used that one. Dotties we've already used, the hearts we've already used. That is a bit in your face. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that could be it. Quite like those. That's also quite nice, the hexagons. That's just gorgeous. I love it. That we've already used, yeah. I quite like that, it's a good one actually. And I think I just used it for the back pocket, so yeah, that could be a possibility as well. The grid, which is brilliant, but if your cutting is even a mil off, you're in trouble. That's nice with the flowers printed on it. Yeah, and I think is that the last one? I think so. So the choice is that one that we've already used, but it's great, or this one. That's a decision, isn't it? I think I'll use this one. Actually, I need two, so I might just take the other one of these. There will be there'll be plenty remnants of it in case we need to use it somewhere else, but for the time being that's fine. Right, so I need to cut this off at 8 inches tall, because that's what this measures. 8 inches exactly. Hooray. That hasn't gone wrong. So I can cut 4 inches off. It's 12 by 12, so if I cut 4 inches off, it saves me having to get my extension piece out for there, and it should all be equal. All come clean in the wash. So let's put that up to 4 there. 4 there. Hold it down. This is a bit temperamental, this one. When you get near the bottom, you've got to really apply pressure. So there's a good remnant, and there's our 8 piece. And I'm going to cut 4 inches off this as well, for the same reason. I want it to measure 8. Okay, so we've now got 2 pieces of 8 by 12, like that. So let's move all the remnants back to where they live, because they're just getting in my way. I've still got all these papers here, but right, let's take one piece first. And well, no, it doesn't matter, they're the same. This I want to measure 5.5. Let's say 5.5. No, I didn't want you to fall on the floor. Thank you. Actually, let's say 5 3/4. 5 3/4. So sorry if I'm making you alter your notes, but yeah, 5 3/4 I'm cutting this at. Oh darn it, I meant to wash the dishes when I was up and I forgot. Never mind. That doesn't fit on there, so I have to get my big scoreboard out. So I want this. This is the same this way as this way. So what I'm going to do is score at 1/2 inch and then score an extra one along. So I've just got a narrow spine. It's just 1/8 inch there, and just fold that on the marks we've just created. I must say something for this card, it's really lovely. It takes a crease really, really well. So there we are. We can bone folder those in a minute. So this I want to measure, when that's folded in, what does that measure? Little less than 5 1/4, 5 1/8, in fact. So this big piece here that I've got, I want to mark at 5 3/4. There. And then the next 1/8 across, and the next 1/8 across, which brings us to 6. So it's 5 3/4, then the next pip across, then the next pip across, and that last pip is on 6. So you've got 3 lines scored down there. And that's your scoring, ladies and gents. All done and dusted. So let's fold these. I probably want them folded the other way in actuality, but just to go with the flow of where they want to fold. Let's crease them in that way. Just push it back, push the top bit back, and it will eventually fold where you want it to fold, like that, and just make sure it's square. Because sometimes when you fold them, they are anything but square. When you crease them, I mean. Bone folder, hello. So there we are, that's that one. I'll do the other one. Again, just to make sure that we are square. Lovely, that's lovely and square. So that's those two. And then we've got this one, which does look square, looks very square. Excellent. Fabulous. Right, so this needs to be glued onto here. So leave the hinge free, as we've done before. Let me just bone folder that in. It's there, but it's not sharp. So let's make it nice and sharp. Just pull that round. that. Marvellous. So this part, I'll show you in a sec what I mean. Got the spine there, the flat part of the spine. This is the wide part, and then we've got this narrow bit here. So there's no lines on this bit here, and that's the bit we're going to glue down. So we're going to leave the spine free at this side. So let's do that now. I'm expecting Mr. F home any minute. There we go. But it's not like when we used to have Bobby, and Bobby used to cry all the time Mr. F was out. He wasn't so bad towards the end. I think he got the hang of the fact that Mr. F was actually going to come home. But when we first had him, he was terrible. He used to sit behind the front door and just cry. And no amount of me fussing him or anything. He didn't want it. He just wanted to sit and watch the door. Which is sad, really. So there we are. We've got that glued down. And that's just not exactly... Can see maybe there's just a tiny little bit sticking out there. Which I don't like, so I'm just going to cut that off. It's just a smidge, but it's enough to annoy. So there we are. We've got 3 panels. We've got a slightly bigger hinge on this side, slightly lesser hinge on this side. This measures 6, or it should. Yeah, that measures 6 exactly from the spine to the edge. So that folds there like that, and that's 6. This middle one between the spines measures 5 3/4, and this end one from the last spine to the end measures 5 1/8. So that's your measurements for the right hand side. Now other bits and pieces do go on this, as you will not be surprised, I'm sure. On the back of this, yeah, I'll do it this way. Let's just check that's going to work. I'm not entirely convinced it is, because of my 6-inch piece. Yeah, let's just have a quick look at the Timmy one and see what I did. This needs re-gluing. You can't glue onto Timmy design tape, let me just tell you that. So that's what happens. Yeah, I need to cut a bit off there, I think. What does that measure? Five 3/4. So if that was 5 3/4, yeah, I reckon that would be okay. So I'm going to cut a little bit off this, the widest one, the one that's 6. Yeah, I've got it down on my crib sheet as 5 1/2, so I don't know why I made it 6. I think because I forgot I had to cut something off the 12 by 12. So I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch off there. Let's have a look what we've got now. So I've got my wider spine to the right. That flips in and that flips. Yes, that's lovely. That's perfect. Nothing's catching on anything. Everything looks all right. That's fine. That's grand and dandy. Lovely. I could have got away with just taking 1/4 inch off there, but I'm happy enough with that. It's all right. So, on this side now, what happens? Well, we need to... I'm looking at my notes and they are so scant. I haven't got a chance of working out what goes where. But I know there is a flip up goes onto here. So let's do that. It could be in the same card. It could be in a piece of the Stamperia. What am I going to make it out of? What have I got left? I've got hearts. And I've got this. I quite like that. Yeah, I quite like that. I don't think that's got an up and a down, you know, so I can probably get away with doing it, making it this way. So I'm going to make it the same. Let's ink around this. I don't even know if I need to ink around it, but I get the impression I might. So, yeah. Let's ink around it. I probably also need to stick some... I'm cantering away and not doing the essentials here, like the inking and the masking tape. I'm not galloping away. I think I'm past galloping, to be honest. I was 63 on my birthday. I don't think at 63 you gallop anywhere, really. Amble. That's what I do. I amble. So that's that side. Let's just do the other. You'd think it wouldn't make much difference because it's dark purple paper, but it does. And it covers that inner bit, you know, that's white, that always catches your eye. Somebody was asking, I think it was Chestita, if I was going to do a PDF for this. It's just too complex. The only way I can recommend is watch the video, and you might have to keep stopping and starting it, or, you know, make copious notes. But I can't really do it. Similarly, I don't think I can even do, you know, the bare bones for the shop, because you've got to stick certain bits on before others. It would just be a nightmare. So just watch the video. It's the only way I can think of you, you know, doing it. So where's my masking tape? Here's my masking tape. So I'm going to put it on over the hinges again, as we've done before. Yeah. So right into the hinge itself. This is a narrow little hinge. Try that 4 size. Seem to be able to stick over this all right. It's that Timmy design tape. It's just terrible. You can't stick anything to it, including his distressed collage glue. It didn't want to stick either. So there we are. That's that done. You'll be happy that you've done this, because if you don't, eventually the paper will crack, no matter how good the paper is. And then you'll be just in tears because you've got cracked paper and it doesn't look nice, and you know. Might have to just add a little bit down the sides, but that's okay, we can easily do that. Pull that round the bottom, pull this round the top, and make them meet up like that. There we go, and I just want a little bit of glue over that where they overlap. So this right hand side is the easier side. It's very straightforward actually. The left hand side, it's not difficult. I can't say any of it's difficult if you follow the process. But the left hand side's got a bit more to it, let's say. There we go, so that's that. So let's do this one. You can just see, I don't know if you can just see where the top layer is, I wouldn't say cracked particularly, but you can see the white core coming through. So yeah, I would say cracked, I guess. That's the only expression for it. And in the fullness of time, it'll only get worse as you open and close it. And, you know, if you're giving it as a gift, or in my case, selling it, oh my goodness, it would be awful to think that somebody had received this and it was anything but, you know, A-OK, let's say. There we go. I quite like this gold washi, to be honest. It was kind of used because it's all I had, but I do like it. Let's turn it around a little bit. Let's fold that over. Put a bit of glue on the top of that. And then sun's come out now. That's good. Well, we're having a very straightforward meal for dinner tonight. Very nice one though. Steak and chips. Ooh. And it's steak from the good butchers as well. Which we really have very, very infrequently because it's so expensive. But it's nice. It's more than nice, actually. It's delicious. So that's that. In time, we'll see whether we've got that all stuck down or not. It might need a bit of titivation around the edges as time goes on. That's fine. We'll just glue it. You know, if a problem occurs, we'll glue it when it occurs. Like this one here that wants to be problematic. Why do you want to be problematic? You just woke up that way. So there we are. We'll leave that now. Just to dry a little bit. Let's just take the end off there. So that's got rid of any potential problems we could have had with cracking. So, which is the narrow and which is the wide? I think it's that way. I think that's the narrow one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Actually, that doesn't want to stick down either. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? There we go. Right, so let's just see. I think that's the wider one. I think this is the narrower one. Yeah, yep, okay. Lovely, so that's the way it goes. Like that, the narrow spine on your left, wider spine to your right. Right, so, as we were, except, just checking, yeah, I think we're all right. Yeah, there's the bit that we glued on. That's what I was looking for. Right, so now I want to make a flip up from here. So I need something to make the flip up with, and we'd kind of come around to thinking this might be a good thing to make the flip up with. So I want it doesn't need a spine at all, it just needs to be creased. And I want it to come down to about there. I don't want it to go all the way down to the bottom. So let's just mark where I want that to come to. Just get that square there. So I want it to come to just inside the hinge, which is there. And I want to allow about 1/2 inch-ish for the top crease. So that's going to go there, like that. So let's trim that out, and then I'll give you some measurements. Or you can just do as I do, just go that, yeah, that looks about right there. So that measures 5 inches, exactly 5 inches. And this I'll tell you in a sec, because it's wider than my Timmy trimmer. Has anybody got one of the new Timmy trimmers, the rotary cutters? Let me know what you think, please. I'm kind of in the market for a larger cutter. Oh, I was going to tell you what that measures. It measures 7.5. And I'm just going to crease along the top. I want this to be my outside. I think, yeah. Let's say that anyway. So I'm going to just crease it 1/2 inch. Fold that. Just keep your eyes open for any cracking. We're all right. It's just when you've got hinges and stuff that you're really liable to see cracking. So that is just going to get stuck onto there, like that. Let's just check before we stick it on that that's not impeding that hinge. No, it's not. It's a perfect fit. Now the question is, do I want to stick something fancy onto the back of this? What do I want to do on the back of this flip? Good question. I could put a pocket. I could put anything. I can't decide now, so I'm just going to stick it on and I'll come back to it. Oh, let's ink it first. And I'll come back to it and worry about what I'm going to put on it at a later date. Because it could be many things. I mean, it could even be a piece of paper, you know, with a pattern on it, instead of this very plain. But we'll see. We don't have to decide this minute. We're just doing the construction for this side at the moment. Fold that and go along there. Right, there we go. So let's stick that on. Yep, we're all right. Stick that on by the flap we created, the 1/2 inch flap. Go on, glue. I think scraping it along this paper, it picks up bits, little fibres off the paper that want to block the nozzle. That's my thinking. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this round so I can actually see. So fit it right flush with that edge there, like that. And then it should just fit nicely on the top, nice and straight. Oh, not if you move it, it won't. Not if you move it. Like that. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm going to clip that then. Now I've got that exactly where I want it. So let's just clip that and it can be drying whilst we approach the next panel. There's so many clips on the floor here. It's Clip City. Oh, because I keep doing that, that's why. Take your time, girl, take your time. Right, there we are. So we've got that one. That's going to be a flip up and it's going to have something on the back of it, but I'm not sure what. Right, this one here is going to be also a flip up. I've got a clip in my slipper. But it's going to be an acetate window. Yes, that's what it's going to be. So I need something to make the frame out of. Let's have a look in the Stamperia book what we've got. That's really nice, but you wouldn't see very much of it. I like the crackle, but not for this particularly. No. That's nice. Oh, that might, no. Nice. Is it even long enough? Yeah. Here we go again then. There's that one, which is nice. Oh, there's that one. Yeah, let's use that. That's really nice, isn't it? And, you know, even cutting a frame out of it, it'll look nice. So I need to go from the hinge there. So hold your hinge up to the hinge here, and I can see where that is through the masking tape. At least I think I can. Yeah, it's there. So make your mark there. Let's trim that off and then just be double sure that we've got it right. Cut that there. That's beautiful paper, isn't it? It's gorgeous. So let's put that, there's the hinge there. So let's just put that up against there. Fold that over so we know we've got room. And can I still lift this one up? Yes, that's perfect. That's the perfect size. Now, similarly, I want to put a 1/2 inch flip at the top of this, 1/2 inch, whatever you call it, fold, so I can stick it down. So there we go, that's that. And then I just need to cut out where I'm going to put my acetate. So, back to the cutting board. Oh, that paper's so pretty. With my pencil, I want my... This pencil will do, it's softer. So let's just do it at 1/2 inch, shall we? I think that'll be enough. No, I'm going to do it at 5/8. That's the next little line across from 1/2 inch. I'm just going to colour that with ink so I can see where I'm marking. So 5/8 along there as well, along that inked line. Five eighths down here, 5/8 all the way around. Lovely. Get my scalpel out. I'm just going to trim that off. The reason I put the lines in first is so I can see where that intersection is, so I can see where the corner is, where I have to stop and start. Otherwise I would have no idea. So right into the corners. Always the corners that I seem to miss. The rest of it drops out, the corners stay in. There we go. So this really isn't for any other reason apart from decoration. It's just an interest, a point of difference, interest in the book. Let's see, yes, it's the corners again. Always miss the corners, that one in particular. I've really missed it. But that's okay, just go back in and trim it. That should be it now. Really wants to hang on that corner. There we go. So that's a really nice remnant, which I'll put back in the Stamperia book. Lovely. Now then, what I need now, because I want it to be acetate, I obviously want to see through it, but I don't want the acetate and all the stitching, all the mechanics of how I've made the page. So I need to engage another piece of paper to go on the back. So let's have a look and see what we've got. I just want paper really, not another piece of card. So let's just see what we've got. I mean, that's so pretty, but I haven't got any cream in here at all, so I don't think that would be right. Oh, these are bits of ephemera. There's a whole slew of ephemera there, which I don't want because I want papers. No, I don't think I've got anything that's really suitable. I think these are all ticking, yeah. No, I haven't got anything there. Probably need to print some out that are more suitable now I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to use a piece of card. So I want this to be exactly the same size as this. So let's just... Not the... oh, here's Mr. F. I'll be back. Right, okay, so where was I? When I was interrupted by Mr. F coming home. Everything stops when Mr. F comes home. It's exciting. So I'm just going to mark this exactly where the frame, the outer frame is. Like that. And trim that off. It'll make this, because we're using this card, this 230 card, it'll make the frame a bit more sturdy anyway, which isn't a bad thing, to be honest with you. There we go. Little remnant pieces that probably will never get used, but I can't bear to throw them out. So what happens now is you put this behind whichever way you want it, and I want this to be the right side, as it were. So you put that exactly where it's going, like that. Hopefully that all fits in nicely. It's just a little bit too long, that, you know, just a little bit too long. So let's just take that off now before we forget. It's only a tiny piece, but enough to make it look not good. So put that, snuggle that up into that bend there, and then lie it down, and it should all lie down nice and flat like that. Perfect. And then we're just going to draw around the inside of this. I'm going to draw this top bit first because I'm holding it down. So just around there, and this will tell us where to cut. And we'll frame out. Right. Oh, that's a bit wobbly. Okay, so get the ruler and the knife yet again. Let's cut this out. let's get cutting. Cut right into those corners. This top one you'll find is a bit less than the others because it fits inside the hinge part. It's not much, I mean, I'm talking millimetres here. There we go. So far so good. I'll take a chance on that. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that, it just dropped out. Save that, it's a jolly good remnant. And this then should fit. Actually, this is the right side. So that folds over like that. That should fit into there. Like that, and it should all fit quite nicely, which it does, I think. I think so. So let's ink the inside, the outside, the inside, every side. Let's just ink it. So this is the construction of the right side of the Flippy Flappy. The right hand side, not like the right side of a fabric, just the right hand side. And it's fairly straightforward. Once you get your head around it, you'll be away. Go across the top. And now the inside of that frame. Cat's just gone out and he's at the window to come in. I think he thinks it's a game. You go out the back door and come in the window. And there's always a servant on hand to let you in. Cats are a bit like that, aren't they? They think we're just here to serve. Which for the main part we are. I hasten to add. So I want to get this piece stuck into the journal so I can leave it overnight to set up, as it were. So there's always quite a bit of inking to do. And don't forget to put your acetate in. I've done that before. I don't know whether to put a string and button closure on this actually. I'm debating whether to do it or not. That might look quite nice. Yeah, might do it. Might just do that. Just a bit more interactiveness, isn't it? Interaction, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. God, isn't that a long way around all of these frames? Yes. Yes, it is. We'll get in there though. Soon be there. Don't give up hope. We'll soon be there. Yeah, final stretch. up to there. That's it. Right, hooray, we've got those done. So now I need some acetate. So I need the acetate to fit on there. Have I got a piece of acetate out at all? I thought I had, yes. Is this it? It's hard to see acetate, isn't it? Because by its very nature it's clear. So just bring that in a little bit from the edges and just mark where you need to cut it. So along there. Whoa, that's not very good. And down there. Lovely. I'll just trim that out and then we'll get that stuck on. So the next part of this will be decorating and finishing off, putting tags and stuff, you know, making pockets, etc., etc., for this section before we move on to the third section, the left-hand side. So gird your loins. Gird your loins. Right, so that's just perfect, lovely. Let's glue that in place. Thank you to everybody who's watching these videos. They do take a fair bit of making and a lot of time, so I do appreciate the fact that you're watching them. There we go, that's lovely. Just smush that glue down a little bit. Always going away from your window, so you don't want the glue coming out the side. There we are, that's lovely. Now this needs to go on. So hopefully that's just going to fit beautifully. I mean, it really, we've made a good job of that. If we don't praise ourselves, who is going to praise us? We might as well. When we do something right, we might as well shout about it. So I'm just gluing just outside the acetate actually, because that's where the purchase is. Although I just put a little bit along there, it seems like it's quite a long way. Yeah, I'm just going to come in a little bit. Seems like it's a long way out from the window. Right, so let's get the frame in place. So I want the pretty side out and the narrower of the two ones nearest the top. Get that in place, and the rest should just fall into place. Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Okay, well, I think there might have to be a little bit of trimming going on. Not too much. A little bit is acceptable. There we are. So that's our lovely, lovely window. So let's just trim off the little bits that need trimming. There's really not much. Might be a little bit here maybe, possibly. Okay, I think that's all right. Those little bits that are trimmed just need a little bit of ink. Can't remember where it was, so I'm just going all the way around. Right, there we go. That's our acetate window. So I want to sew all the way around that before I do anything else to it. So let me pop you on pause. I'll go and sew that and I'll be right back. Right, so I've sewn around there. You can't really see it because the acetate's shiny. But I've sewn around the edge and then around the inner frame as well. So it's got 2 lines of stitching on, which I quite like. But on the back, you get that sort of rough look to the stitches. And what you need to do, you'll never get it as nice and smooth as the front. But if you just take a bone folder, I'm using this one that came with some rub-offs that I had, rub-ons, whatever you call them, that I had. And you just push the stitching down back into the paper, and it does look better. So you've got to be quite firm with it and push it really back into that paper. There we are. And it ends up looking, you know, doesn't jar your eye. Now I have decided that I want to put a button closure on here. So I'm going to use my smallest thingy that I've got, which I think is 1/2 inch. So it's not very big at all, but big enough. Yeah, you need to make sure that your paper's all the way in, otherwise you don't get a circle. So I'm going to cut out 4 of these out of this little remnant that I had. That's why it's always worth hanging on to your remnants. I know I'm like a cracked record, but it's true. So let's just glue those together. I want the plain side to end up on the top. But it doesn't matter what goes on in the middle, nobody will ever see. Just press them around with your fingers and they'll just automatically go into a proper stack. Like that, and then I want the plain one on the top. Like that. I think it's just going to add another bit of interaction, as I said, just something different, a little bit different. And it takes time to do, of course it does. All these things take time to do. That's why we do them. So a little bit of ink around there. And this is just a tiny little button, but it doesn't need to be any bigger than this. As big as it needs to be. Because it's not actually holding anything particularly closed. It'll hold the acetate window closed, but I mean there's no force in that. So that wants to get a hole made. And I haven't got any 2mm or 3mm or whatever the small size hole is. I haven't got any of those eyelets. So I'm going to have to see where the centre of this is, which is about there perhaps. Yeah, let's say it's there. And I'm going to have to use my big side of this. Oh dear, so this is a bit fraught really. Oh, dropped my finger. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. That's okay. Now, ooh, that hurt. Now I need to work out where the centre of this is. Oh, I can't do it on the silly centimetre side. Let's put the centimetre side away, shall we? It just doesn't mean anything to me. So it measures just short of 6, so put it there, and that's halfway. That's 3, so I want that there. I think that would be fine. It's just coming off the bottom of the thing, that's alright. No, I might move it up a little bit so it's not coming off the bottom of the thing. so annoying that they get stuck in there. Right. Trying not to trap my finger again because that hurt. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to put an eyelet in there, gold one, that's what we've been using all along. Well, I think we've only used two, haven't we? I think so. So just pop that in there. Says she doesn't want to go. There you go. So you can see it's just it's tiny, but it will be big enough. I feel like I've got an eyelet that's too big. Doesn't want to go in. Go in. Okay. Oh, my life. When things don't want to go right, they just don't want to go right. There we go. In through this one. There we are. Right, don't move, please. Let me just set you. Perfect. There we go. That's lovely. So that is going to have, it's going here, and there's some sort of shenanigans going on this page anyway, so I can bring a string off the bottom and tie it round there. So that'll be nice. So I can glue this on in place now. So let's do that. So it seems a bit odd to have two flip-ups together, but they don't really feel like they're together when the whole journal's made. So let's see where that edge is there. It's there. Put that down there. Let's just see if that's okay there. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect, perfect. So make sure you get the top straight. And then the rest, yeah, the rest is lovely and straight. So I'm just going to press that down, mop up any glue seepage that there is, and then shuffle these clips around from the one they were on to this one here. Lovely, because this one will be properly glued now. So if you wanted to use lace, here is a really good place to use lace, I would say. I'm not, because this just isn't a lacy journal. I'm not feeling lace of late. So onto this side, this has got a large side pocket on the left-hand side. That's this side. So I can do that. Let's do that. What shall I use? I could use one of these. I don't know what I'm saving them for, so I might as well use them. I could use that. Oh yes, I could use that. That is so pretty. Couldn't I? I could use that. Yeah. Let's do it. So I want it to measure about, where am I? There's the spine there. About 3.5 inches. If I'm going to gusset it, I want it more than that. But I don't think I do want to gusset it actually. So 3.5 inches. Let's do that and see where that brings us to. 3.5. Yeah, I'm losing a bit of that watering can, but what can you do? What can you do? If it was 4 inches, what would it look like? Yeah, I'm going to cut it at 4 and see if I can somehow manage to get away with that, because it's so pretty. So where's my spine? hinge, however you wish to describe it, is there, like that. So that's going to go up to there. Yeah, I think I can get away with that. Put a card in there. Yeah, what's the problem? Now I want to maintain those drawers at the bottom because I really like them. And there's just a little bit that needs trimming off the top there. I mean, it's absolutely minuscule. Yeah, I was going to say I'll leave it till after I've stuck it on, but I want to sew it, so I want to get it right. Let's just trim that down. There we go. So that's going to go there. Yeah, that is perfect. So perfect. I love that design. Love it. So let's ink around that and then stitch around it, then we can stick that in. Making good progress. We've still got all the pockets and stuff to put in, with the exception of this, because this is it's almost the whole page is this pocket. But you know, under the acetate windows and stuff like in this flip here, we've got stuff to add, of course. Just need a bit more purple on there. There we are. Right, so I'm going to go off and stitch around there, and then we can get that stuck onto there. So see you in a sec. Right, so I've stitched around there, and I just want to, that's acetate in case you're wondering what the dickens was going on. So let's glue that. I don't want to glue this side, so we'll glue the rest. The other three sides. You can put a thumb notch in yours if you wanted to. I meant to and I forgot, so just be warned, it's easy to forget these things. Not that it makes a huge difference, it's very obviously a pocket. So I'm just carefully trying to glue over the stitching, because it's always the stitching that's resistant to sticking down. There we go. So up to that hinge, but not impeding its use, of course. And there we have it. So just check that that hinge isn't being impeded. No, that's lovely. Just stick that down. This is such a pretty piece of paper, isn't it? I'm sure for people that aren't into paper or paper crafting in any way, they must think we are absolutely quite mad. The way we go on about bits of paper. I mean, the bits of paper. Yes, we all know that. But they're glorious. I'm just going to take those ones and clamp this one up. Obviously can't get to the central, to that section there, so I'll give it an extra push down and put some clips along the bottom. These clips are fabulous. The other thing you can use if you haven't got clips is just paper clips. There's paper clip things in place. I've done that myself on many an occasion. It's a perfect solution. So, right, that's that. Now then, what we want to do now is attach this into the journal. So that's the way it's going to fold, like that. This will be the bit that you see here. So it's going to be all titivated. Let's say titivated, shall we? So it's coming together. Look, we're all coming together. So the next thing that I want to do, and I want to do before I go home for the night, I was going to say I am actually at home, is to stick that piece onto here. Now I want to keep the spine free. I don't want to stick the spine on it, just this piece here. So I've still got my spine there. So it's going to go there at the end of this spine, like that, like so. So I'm just going to give that a couple of minutes for this to set up before I start doing that, because I'm obviously going to be working on the back of this piece. So I'll just give that a minute or two just to set up. Right, I'm impatient. I have given it literally a couple of minutes to dry, but I think we're drying, if not dry. So the thing is, where we've just stuck that big pocket, the back of that is going to stick onto this flap that we've got left from the original base that we made. So the thing to do is put glue around, because we're making it into a pocket on the back of here. So put your glue, make sure you can see where that hinge is, spine, whatever, however you wish to call it. Put your glue along there. Like so. And then just up each side here. Like that. And this is how this whole section is attaching. So make sure you've got a good attachment. So it's on the back of the big pocket that we've just put in. So hold that like that, so the spine is still pronounced. You're not sticking the spine of this piece. And place it over the glued area, like so. Make sure that we're nice and square, which we are. Okay, then you can begin to press it into place. And I've got some glue seepage, but I'd rather too much than too little, particularly on this element here, because the whole section hinges, literally hinges, on this having good contact. So just make sure that you really, really press that down ever so firmly. Let's just have a look what's going on here. So that comes all the way round like that, and that comes to there. And that's lovely. That's perfect. I think that's pretty darn good. So, my washi's alright. That's all square. That's open there for a pocket. I've still got my hinge from this section still here. So I'm going to clip the top and bottom. It's conceivable that I might have to put some more glue in down there, but we'll see tomorrow when we come to have a look at it, what it looks like. But I am just going to leave it overnight for everything I've done today to set up, because it's got a lot of glue in it. And this last piece that we've done is critically important, because if it comes off, then the whole section will come off. And that's no good at all. So there we go. That's what we've got now. Oh, it looks lovely. So that's this section here. That's the right-hand side section. Here we've got our central section that we've all prettied up. This will be prettied up. It's just that's the construction done now. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it flat like that so it can come to its senses. And I'm quite pleased with that. I think that's nice. Yep, okay. So thanks for joining me. I hope you get up to where I'm up to, and I hope it all goes well for you. Don't shout at yourself if you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's just, there's quite a lot of complexity in this, I think, to be honest. So take your time, work through it methodically, and I'll meet you back here tomorrow or whenever, and we'll get on with decorating this section before we move on to the left section. So thanks for joining me. Bye.